What legacy would you like to leave? As part of the Legacy Society, your gift supports the future of the Iowa Catholic Radio Network. By participating in the planned giving process, you can be assured that when you leave this earth, your charitable gift will continue to support this apostolate and its mission of connecting people to Christ. If you're interested in including Iowa Catholic Radio as part of your charitable gift planning, call me, Belle Marasco, at 515-223-1150. Thank you for your prayerful support.
The Catholic Morning Show.
Thanks for joining us. Let's turn now to a conversation I think everybody is increasingly having. Archbishop Fulton Sheen has been important to anyone involved with Catholic media, radio, and television. Fulton Sheen, of course, means a lot to us here on Iowa Catholic Radio. If you've appreciated the role that Catholic media has played in your life, you have a lot of that to give thanks to for Archbishop Fulton Sheen. His beatification is coming up very soon in September. The day before that, on September 23rd, the eve of his beatification, there's a conference titled Fulton Sheen, American Saint, taking place between 9 a.m. and 9 p.m. at the Hilton St. Louis Frontenac Hotel. And we're getting a chance to talk about why that is important and why this conference is being hosted. We're going to talk with Dr. Peter Howard, who is the founder and president. Putting that all on, Dr. Howard, thank you for coming on the Catholic Morning Show.
Thank you, Bo. What an honor to be with you.
So when it came to your interest in venerable, soon-to-be, beatified Fulton Sheen, what inspired a lifelong devotion, and why is that important for people listening right now who might be thinking, what is it particularly about Fulton Sheen's life that means so much to exactly someone who'd be listening to a Catholic radio station?
Wow, that's a lot in that first question there. Well, I go back to how I got introduced to Sheen. I thought it was, on one level, just kind of by chance. I was just going on a personal retreat. This is 30 years ago almost. And it was like a divine invasion that I didn't see coming. I had a 3.5-hour car ride. So you think of people who are, listening to Catholic radio, they're in the car. And my sister gave me these cassette tapes of this Fulton Sheen, who I just heard of and never read anything about, never listened to anything, never watched anything. And she said, just give it a shot, Pete. See what your retreat, maybe he can have some insight for you. He changed our pastor's life, and he was actually at that retreat. And I was like, whoa, okay. So I put him in, and I mentally said, I have maybe 5 minutes I'll give him, it's kind of my New Jersey side. Like, you're either in or you're out. and so I put him in, and within less than 3 minutes, I was completely hooked. And that's like hardly any time, but the Holy Spirit was so strong from the moment he started speaking that it ended up being a week where I just stayed in my car and I listened to conference after conference after conference. And by the end of it, I said, this man, I don't know what God, if he's calling me to be a priest or a laity. I was still in that, pre-discernment mode there. But this man is going to be central to whatever I do. He has a message just from this retreat that I want every Catholic to hear. And for me, my life changed from that point. And so I knew that part of my mission, or a big part of my mission, was going to be, I want everyone to experience the graces that I experienced in just that one retreat. And then from there, I just became almost 30 years now, of just dedicating my life to reading, studying him, writing a doctorate on him. And, everything I do, it revolves around his mission more than just kind of the about Sheen, which is fascinating. It is all about the mission. And that's why this conference is so important, because this is the continuation of Sheen today for really why God gave him to America. He gave him to us back in the 50s, from the 30s up until when he died in 79. That was his apostolic life. And that was impactful, but he was prophetic, and everything that he said has greater relevance now, especially for those of us, here in the United States. He's our saint. He's America's saint. He's raised, by, you could say, he was a true son of the heartland. He identified with everybody, and now he's a man that has a blueprint for this nation. As we are, if we're honest with ourselves, we are at a decisive turning point of what our future is going to be. If we're going to have one, is America going to be the same? he gives us all of these answers. Or I should say, heaven gave us the answers through Fulton Sheen, and he could not have come at a more perfect time, which I see as very much a kind of a refounding of our nation, starting with the spiritual roots that we've never allowed to really take root.
Well, you who are listening to Catholic radio here in the Heartland, as we've been hearing, has a lot to... Fulton Sheen plays such a pivotal role in your ability to be a part of things like Iowa Catholic Radio. We're speaking with Dr. Peter Howard, who's the founder of the Fulton Sheen Institute and Movement, talking about a conference that's happening the eve before his beatification. So, Dr. Howard, if you don't mind, what is the conference? What's its title? Who's going to be there? Give us those sort of that information for people who might be interested.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, before I forget, you can learn everything about the details that I'll be mentioning here on our website, fultonsheenconference.com, and you can register there as well. So I'm going to make sure I direct everybody before I say anything.
Good job.
But the conference is called, it's Fulton Sheen, America's Saint. And I already began to allude to that, of why that title is so important, because it was Sheen himself who said, we need an American saint. And who would have known that basically the description that he was giving, somebody who was raised, on our lands, in our fields, who worked through American school systems, who basically captured the American spirit from birth until the day he died, ends up being the man that has been given a lot of titles. A man for all media. He's been called the American G.K. Chesterton, but I think he's been called America's Bishop in his biography. But this title is not a casual one. It's a very bold one. He is America's saint, because he really is the heart of Americana for all Catholic Americans. What does it mean to be a Catholic saint in America? That was Sheen's question. He says, we need that answer. Well, he is the answer. It's like when he talked about when Saul was persecuting the Christians and murdering them. And he says, imagine how many people prayed for God to send an answer to Saul. And he said he did. He sent Paul. And so it's the same with Sheen. He proposes the illness, you can say, or the problem, but he also represents the solution. So this conference is not just a rah-rah, a rally of, wow, oh my gosh, we love Sheen. He's everybody seems to know him in some capacity. It's to discover the heart of this saint, the why behind the timing of the when. This is, like I said, this is the 250th anniversary of our country. And Sheen said very boldly, he says, God doesn't do anything in history without the greatest finesse of detail, because he was talking about why Fatima in 1917. So why Sheen in 2026? And so we have people who are going to be speaking, and you would recognize hopefully all of them, but these are all people who are true champions of Sheen. Sheen, he's touched their lives, their souls in a way that has left them sort of an indelible mark, that he's now a part of what they do and who they are. We are extremely blessed to have as our keynote Arthur Brooks. He wrote the introduction to Pope Leo's encyclical on AI, and he's one of the most fascinating speakers I've ever listened to. And when you see the connections between him and how he approaches evangelization of the human person and Sheen, it'll blow your mind. So these are people who represent really the components of America's saint. And I am praying that when those who come to this conference, and you're in the perfect neighborhood of that. The radius is not far. This is going to be something that's going to light a fire that, as we then go from the beatification then to the canonization, which many suspect will be actually very, very short a time period, we've got to reclaim the faith in America. Or I should say, we got to claim the faith in America. Europe has to reclaim it. We have to claim it. And Sheen is the one who shows us the way, not just for Catholics, but for non-Catholics who are searching for the truth, searching for what God, the true destiny of America was meant to be. Roots that go way, before 1776, but deeply consecrated to Mary. So this conference is to help us to do that.
We got about a minute left. We're speaking with Dr. Peter Howard, founder of the Fulton Sheen Institute and Movement. Before we let you go, where can people find out more about the conference, find out prices, get signed up and everything like that?
Absolutely. Well, go to fultonsheenconference.com, fultonsheenconference.com, one word, and you'll learn everything about the conference. You'll also learn how, if you want to be a part of we have a pilgrimage led by Bishop Coffey and myself and Father Loya, the Byzantine priest, from September 19th to the 23rd. It includes the conference. It includes beatification tickets. You get the whole package. It's like the best way to do that. You can learn more about that. Go to fultonsheenmovement.com and you'll see, information on both of those. So I highly recommend that. This is a once in a lifetime opportunity. It will never happen again. And we want to make sure that this is the best possible Sheen experience that every single person who wants to be changed by him is going to get. And they're going to get it.
Well, we appreciate it, Dr. Peter Howard. Thank you for coming on the Catholic Morning Show.
Thank you both.
Listen to the Catholic Morning Show weekdays at 7 a.m. Central on the Iowa Catholic Radio Network, iowacatholicradio.com, or the Iowa Catholic Radio app.
It's time to man up. Mondays at 9 a.m. Central. Man Up with Joe Stopulus on Iowa Catholic Radio and on demand on the Iowa Catholic Radio app. This is Iowa Catholic Radio, connecting people to Christ.